Hey, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to create financial freedom even starting from scratch. So as you come on over into this live stream, guys, come on in. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I love to hear from you and love to have a conversation. So some of you guys know it's been a little while since I've done a live broadcast. And hey there, how you doing, Miss Sharika? Hey, Miss Jameson, how you doing? Glad to see you guys. As you know, it's been a little while since I've done a video, and so I just thought I'd come on in and share a little bit of information with you guys. I've been doing some reconnaissance work, really learning more and more about how to help you guys reach your financial goals and your financial dreams. So I just love to share with you and have a great conversation and talk about how we might be able to build wealth and build wealth together. So like I said, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to create financial freedom starting from scratch. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alex B. Jones, Total Wealth Strategies, and I help individuals and families create financial freedom and build wealth. And so that's what I'm going to be talking with you guys tonight. For those of you, again, who don't know me, I used to work in corporate America, so I spent time as a corporate auditor working with a Fortune 500 company. And I've owned and operated my own small business for 23 years. I'm an Amazon best-selling author, and I also am a licensed insurance agent here in the state of North Carolina. So just have a breadth of a wide range of experiences, and I hope to share with you guys so you can learn from some of my mistakes and hopefully learn from some of my successes as well. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to share those things together. So for those of you joining me, Shatika, thank you. Kadita, thank you. Elise, my wife, thank you, babe, for your support. Christine, Ashley, and Chastity. So, hey, as you guys come on in, please like and share this live stream. We want to be able to get this information out. And want to be able to try to help as many people as possible create financial freedom. So let me just start off very quickly with 6 amazing financial statistics or stats. There are a lot of good ones out there, but just a few of them I thought I'd share with you to just kind of let you know and help you get a sense of what's happening in America, in our finances, and in our quest to create financial freedom. Now, I know all of us are getting up every single day. Every single day. Usually, most of us are getting up 5 days a week. Some people 6 days a week, some 4. Some people may even be working 7 days a week. And there's a reason and a purpose as to why we get out of our beds every single day, leave our families, and we go out and do what it is that we do every single day. And I want to just help you guys do it because you love it, as opposed to doing it because you have to earn a living. And so we want to just talk about that. So I want to share with you first 6 amazing financial statistics. According to CNBC, 61% of Americans don't have at least $1,000 saved. Let me repeat that. 61% of Americans don't have at least $1,000 saved in the bank. That if there was a financial situation or a financial emergency that they need to cover, 61% of Americans would not be able to cover it from their savings. They would have to go into debt, borrow money in order to cover that. The average Social Security check for 2019, the average monthly Social Security check is $1,461 a month. $1,461 a month. Hey, Cameron, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. So that's again $1,461. Just imagine having to live off of $1,400 a month. $1,400 a month. Just imagine that. Forbes says that student loan debt is now the second highest debt category behind mortgages. It's reached $1.5 trillion, and the average person has over $28,650 in student loan debt. Okay. Another interesting statistic: the average car payment nowadays is actually $551 a month. Yes, $551 a month for 69 months. And so if you do the math on that very quickly, that means that the average person spends between principal and interest, they're spending $38,000 for their car purchase. All right. So let's see. What else do I have? Of the people who are 60 years old or older, 50% of them have less than $172,000 saved up for retirement. And those are of the people who actually have money saved. Okay. And then finally, the average senior spends roughly about $400 a month on health care out of pocket. So that would be doctor visits, specialty visits, medicines that they may have to take. They're spending roughly about $4,800 a year, or about $400 a month on out-of-pocket expenses. So why am I sharing that information with you guys? Doesn't it sound just, oh man, it's just, sounds kind of doom and gloom. But I want to share that information with you, mostly because I just want to be able to give you a snapshot of Americans' financial future, and to give you a sense of what we're in for if we do not plan for financial success. And that's what I'm hoping this will encourage you guys to do. I'm hoping that it encourages you to not wind up like the average senior person who's looking to retire. So very quickly, guys, here's where I like to kind of ask a question. What do you think? What do you think are some of the reasons why, in the richest country on the planet, why are so many Americans not more prepared for financial freedom? And I want to share with you how to 3 steps, or at least 5 steps on how to 5 steps on how to get there. Okay. And so let me just say a little disclaimer that this information is from research. It's from our own personal experience. It's not to be construed as financial advice. And so this is just, for educational purposes. And hopefully, if you want to be able to follow up with these things a little bit more, then, hopefully you can reach out to a qualified, licensed professional. If you want to talk to me about life insurance, I can definitely help you with that. But just a little disclaimer. So what are some reasons why Americans are not more prepared for their financial future, and how can you get there? So I love to hear from you guys. So number one, and please chime in with your thoughts as well. I think number one of the reasons why Americans are not more prepared for their financial future is a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of knowledge when it comes to personal finances. And I think it's absolutely amazing that a personal finance class is not a requirement for high school students. And I just find it absolutely amazing that it's just not required. I think we should maybe even go one step further, that a part of freshman orientation for people who are going to college, that they actually get some type of personal financing class to help them understand what the debt, the financial debt that they're going into, oftentimes to go to school. What is that going to look like, and how is that going to affect them once they get out? And I think all too often, I know when I was a freshman, I actually got a freshman or sophomore. I actually got an American Express card. American Express card, guys, for someone who's a college student, I was in no way prepared to handle it responsibly. And I think I probably had it for a year or two. I did pretty good for a year or two, and then finally I just found myself getting in trouble with it, and wound up having to cut it up and pay off the debt. But that's one of the strategies. They want to keep you in debt, right? They want to make sure that those of us who have promising careers, those of us who are trying to position themselves to create more income and have better careers, they want to be able to do what? Get you into debt soon and early. So number one, I think the number one reason why people don't are not more prepared for financial freedom is a lack of the right kind of knowledge and information. And the reason why I say the right kind of information is because we're being taught how to handle money every single day. And where do we learn it? We learn it from those who are closest to us, though our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, friends, our neighborhood. We're getting cues every single day about how we should be spending, music even, about how we should be spending our money. Hey, Nadia, how you doing? And oftentimes we get the wrong information. So if you have parents, family members, other people around you who don't have the right information and who are not positioning themselves for financial freedom and building wealth, it's very likely that you are going to repeat the same mistakes that they're making, because why? That's all we know and that's all we learn. So I would say that it's a lack of knowledge, but I would say more specifically, it's a lack of the right type of knowledge. So that would be number one reason why I think, and definitely let me hear from you. Number two, I think most people look at building wealth and financial freedom, they think of it as being too complicated. That is too complicated. And part of the reason why it's seen as being too complicated is because the financial advisors and people who stand to profit from our lack of knowledge, they want us to think that it's something that's can't be done without them, that is far too difficult for the average consumer to understand. And the language and the words and the jargon that they use is oftentimes confusing, and it makes it seem like it's just too far-fetched for us, right? And so I think number two, that the financial industry and people, financial professionals, make us think that it's too complicated, and it really isn't, guys. It really isn't. And there's tons and tons of information out there, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of these wonderful resources, and just teaching you and helping you to understand better how to create financial freedom for yourself. Number three, the third reason why I think so many of us are not more prepared for financial freedom is we think we have to have a lot of money. We think the only way that we can have a lot of, get financial freedom for ourselves is that we have to start out with a lot of money to invest in stocks, to invest in bonds, to buy all this real estate. And guys, what I just really want to share with you is that, Rome isn't built in a day. And if we're always thinking that we have to have a lot of money just to get started, we're missing out on a very, very important concept. And that concept is compounding interest in time. Compounding interest and time will do a lot of the heavy lifting for us as long as we begin to start investing early and often. It isn't as much about how much you put in. The more, the better. But trust me, if you only put in a little bit, putting in a little bit is better than none. And so we want to be able to start. Yeah, you have to start. That's right, Nadia. You have to start somewhere. You want to be able to start with the little bit that you have, and let time and compounded interest take care of the rest. Okay, so so no, you don't have to have a lot of money to build financial freedom for yourself. All right. Number four. The reason why most Americans don't think it's possible or not more prepared is they think they have time to catch up. They think they have time to catch up. And like I said in the statement just a moment ago, if you wait, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. The harder it's going to be. And even a small amount put in over a longer period of time will often give you a bigger return than putting in a larger amount over a shorter period of time. Okay, so so you don't have a lot of time to catch up. You want to start now. All right, and then number five. The fifth reason why most Americans, I think, are not more prepared is they feel like they don't have the discipline or willpower to start saving and investing. And what I want to say about that is, if you know that you're the kind of person who doesn't have the discipline or the willpower, then don't rely on it. Make sure you put together a system that takes it out of your hands. Make sure you put together a system that doesn't rely on willpower, right? And I'm going to share with you a way to do that, okay? And then number six, many people are just hoping things will take care of themselves. And let me tell you guys, rarely do things work out in your favor if you are not clear and intentional about what you're doing. If you're not intentional and if you don't move with purpose, it is unlikely that you are going to be happy with the result that you're going to get. Okay? So it's extremely, extremely important that you know and understand that things just won't suddenly get right. Things won't suddenly take care of themselves, and you're gonna just suddenly find yourself in that you're gonna suddenly have financial freedom. You have to be intentional. You have to have a game plan, and you have to move with purpose. Okay, so like I said before, my goal is to help you create financial freedom for yourself and for your family, even if you're starting from scratch. So now I want to share with you five things you can do, even if you're starting from zero. Okay, I want to share with you 5 things that you can do, all right, to start creating financial freedom and wealth for yourself. Okay, all right, here we go. Number one, guys, I want you first to determine what financial freedom means to you, not what financial freedom means to someone else. What does financial freedom mean to you? Many times we look at what other people think, what it means to have wealth, what it means to be rich, what it means to have financial freedom. What somebody else believes and thinks for themselves, that's their business, okay? You want to know and understand what financial freedom looks like for you. How much money or how much financial resources do you need in order to accomplish that? That's the first thing that you have to do. And once you understand what that number is and how far in the future that will be for you, now you can begin to start working and setting a tangible and realistic goal for yourself to meet it. Okay? So, for instance, I just want to challenge you guys. Guess what? A lot of people think that you have to be a millionaire. Oh, I got to have $1 million in the bank. I got to I have to have 2 or 3 or 5 million. And truthfully, one of the ways that I like to think about financial freedom is that you have the resources to take care of your financial needs, right? Without necessarily having to work for it. That's to me, that's a very simple way to look at it. And so I give an example. If it only costs you $3,000 a month to live, okay, $3,000 a month to live. If you had $3,000 coming in every single month, or if you had several months of $3,000 just sitting aside in some type of asset, whether it be cash, investments, dividends, real estate. If you had money coming in that was able to cover your monthly expenses every single month, would you not be financially free then? See, it doesn't take necessarily having $1 million in the bank, right? It just means that you're able to take care of your financial needs without having to work for it or without having to go into debt for it. So it's about how we begin to reframe our thinking and what financial freedom looks like for you. Okay? So I want you to take a moment, number one, to determine what financial freedom means to you realistically, honestly, and then set a goal for when you want to create that, when you want to achieve that financial freedom. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, the second step you want to take is you want to make paying yourself first and saving a priority. You want to make sure that you make paying yourself first and savings, you want to make those two things a priority. And why do I say that? One of the main determinants of whether or not somebody's going to be financially free or if they're going to be able to create wealth for themselves and their family, the number one determining factor is your savings rate. How much you actually save of the income that you make. I always like to tell people that each one of us is actually a millionaire. Believe it or not, we're actually millionaires. Why do I say that? If you worked for 25 years over your entire life, 25 years, your entire life, and if you made an average of $40,000 for those 25 years, that's actually $1 million that you would have actually had come through your fingers. So you see, it's when we begin to look at the resources that we have and the things that we have under our control, when you begin to look at it like that, then you begin to understand, hey, wait a minute, I actually do have enough to create my financial freedom for myself. What am I doing with the resources that I have? And so if we're not actually paying ourselves first and then putting that money to use, then financial freedom is all but impossible for us to make it happen. So one of the favorite phrases is, don't save what you have left after you spend. Go ahead and save first, and then you spend what you have afterwards. So if you make spending saving your number one priority, if you make paying yourself your number one priority, then you are now positioning yourself to create and build the financial freedom that you want. But if you're paying everyone else, if you're paying taxes, if you're paying all your bills, if you're paying all your creditors and car notes and all the other stuff, if you're paying all of that stuff and then you're hoping to save what's left, then you're going to be left with very little. Unless you begin to make paying yourself first a priority, then that's how you start down the pathway of creating financial success for yourself. So that's number two. Number three, if you are working for someone, if you have a job, if you are a W-2 person who actually works for someone else, or if you are a small business owner, please take advantage of pre-tax investments, 401k, IRAs. All right. Make sure that you are taking advantage of those things, guys. See, by taking advantage of pre-tax investments, you're actually putting your money to work, right? Before taxes are actually taken out. And so that actually means that you're putting more money in the market, in the investment. You're actually putting more money in, and you have actually more money working for you. If you wind up taking the money that you have left over, actually receiving the money and then putting it in as an investment, now you've actually paid taxes on it. So if you're not taking advantage of pre-tax investments or company 401ks, then you're actually paying more in taxes than I would say than you probably should. I'm not saying this should be your only strategy. I'm simply saying that let this begin to be a way that you take advantage of, number one, reducing how much you pay out in taxes. And then number two, this becomes a way that you begin to increase your savings and investing rate. Okay. Especially if the company that you're working for, if they have a matching program, hey guys, that's free money. That's absolutely free money. So don't let that free money just sit there. If the company says, for up until a certain point, we'll match you dollar for dollar, or we'll match you 50%, or whatever their matching policy is, that is free money for you. So you definitely want to take advantage of it. If you are not, if you don't have a job, it's still okay. You still can take advantage of IRAs, pre-tax IRAs, or you can create your own solo 401k, or you can create a SEP plan. So these are things that, guys, you want to look into that you might be able to take advantage of pre-tax investments, okay? Especially for people who work for companies who have 401ks and matching. All right. Number four, every person, even if you have a business, have your own business outside the home, or if you work for a company, every person on the sound of my voice needs to have a home-based business. Why? Why am I saying that you need to have a home-based business? Having a home-based business allows you to take advantage of some of the expenses you would normally be paying out anyway: rent, mortgage, light, gas, water, expenses to run your home. If you have a home-based business, now you get a chance to write off a portion of those expenses. You can now write off some of those expenses, and you can reduce your tax liability because of it legally. Okay. And that's where, people are not taking advantage of opportunities to, number one, make more money, but then number two, you can also reduce your tax bill by writing off some of the related business expenses that you have from your home-based business. All right. So I always tell people, number one, everybody should have a home-based business. So that's number four. All right. And number five, the fifth way that you can start creating financial freedom for yourself and for your family, even if you're starting from scratch, is to invest in a low-cost index fund. Now, where am I getting that information from? Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is always usually the top 5 richest people on the planet. Okay. He knows a thing or two when it comes to investing, saving, and investing. All right. And Warren Buffett says, and you can look this up for yourself. Warren Buffett says that, hey man, hey Justin, how you doing? Good to see you again. Warren Buffett says investing in a low-cost index fund is by far the easiest and best way in order to build wealth. In order to build wealth. And the reason why he is saying that is because typically, number one, no financial advisor, no one that you are working with who may be managing your money, hedge funds, money managers, mutual fund managers, no one knows the future. Nobody. So that's number one. All right. Number two, because people are looking for ways and strategies and things they can do in order to time the market, to get in at just the right time and get out at the right time, they're incurring fees and expenses, right? And those fees and expenses become very, very expensive over time. And you pay those fees and expenses as a percentage of how much money you actually have invested with them. The more money you have, the larger the fees, okay? Those loads and those front end loads and back end loads, okay? What you want to do, Warren Buffett says, because people can't pick and they don't know the future, he says the market, an index fund, always will outperform a person who is actually managing the money for you. It always outperforms it. So he says, number one, if you pick or find a low cost investment, a low cost index fund, put your money there, 9 times out of 10, you will get a better return on your money and it will cost you less in order to do it. And that's from Warren Buffett, the 3rd, 4th, or 5th richest person on the planet. All right. So there you guys, there you have it. I'll just recap very quickly. If you want to be able to create financial freedom for yourself and for your family, even if you're starting from scratch, number one, determine what financial freedom means to you and set a goal for when you want to become financially free. Number two, make paying yourself and saving a priority. Make saving and paying yourself first a priority. That's number two. Number three, take advantage of pre-tax investments, IRAs, 401ks, SEP plans. Talk to an advisor. See if you can take advantage of every pre-tax investment that you can. Max those things out, especially if you work for a company who actually matches. That's free money. You want to take advantage of that. So that's number three. Number four, you want to establish a home-based business. Why? Number one, it'll help you generate some additional income. But even if it doesn't, the second reason is it'll help you reduce your taxes because now you're able to write off some expenses from some of your home expenses. You can now write off some of those expenses because you now have a home-based business and you are in pursuit of a profit. All right. And then number five, take the money that you have and definitely invest in a low-cost index fund. That is straight from Warren Buffett, the 3rd or 5th richest man on the planet. So there you guys have it. Let me hear from you. I love to hear some of your comments, some of your questions. Let me know what topics you would like to learn more about when it comes to creating financial freedom and success for yourself and your family. I'd love to hear it. That's what I'm going to be doing going forward, guys, is just sharing with you real world practical things you can do to create the level of financial freedom and success you truly want. If you haven't done so already, please like and share this video and help me make this the #1 channel for personal finance and creating financial wealth and freedom. All right. So I love your help in helping me to do that. I love to know what you think, what your thoughts are, and how I might be able to reach more people with the information and knowledge so many of us needs in order that we might be able to free ourselves from those debt masters and buy our freedom back and buy back our time. And that's what I want to help people do. All right. So, hey, thank you guys for jumping on this evening with me. And again, I love to hear your comments and your questions. And there you guys have it. So it's been good seeing you again. I will be coming back to you on a regular basis. sharing information just like this to help you create the freedom and the wealth that you want for yourself and your family. All right. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful evening. See you next time.